What's up and welcome to the DualSense podcast for episode 136. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jason, and I'm joined as always by your other co-host, whose name this evening is Senor Pinga Grande. Let me guess, big penis?
Yep, Mr. Big Penis to you.
Oh, he's also known as Travis or Mr. Little Penis. Travis.
Poquito or Chiquito.
Chiquito. Pinga Chiquito. Perfect. What? How are you?
I heard your wife has a grande tota.
Oh, yeah? Is that a booty?
No, it's a big vagina.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway,
yeah. How are you?
Saw the greatest thing at dinner tonight, and my wife completely ruined it.
What was it? Was it a grande tota?
No, it was no. Saw that later. She has. We were eating at the Mexican restaurant, and there was a tiny child in there wearing a purple hoodie that looked like a little miniature Dora the Explorer. Same fucking haircut. And I kept staring at her. Like, I wanted to ask her if she knew where the map was, and see if she had a monkey friend. She wouldn't let me take a picture of it because I wanted to show everybody. Like, and it was sitting at the table, and it was like watching TV, and I was like, I know what it's watching.
Was it Dora?
She looked just like fucking Dora, like a little baby Dora. Like, unbelievable.
You could have a little baby Dora one day.
No.
I mean, anyway, I've been trying to get into PS VR2 mode. As you know, it came out on Wednesday. I'm going to discuss the games I've been playing later, but it's a big week. We had the headset launch, and so I've been playing a lot of different games. And I was playing earlier, and I think maybe I'm starting to get my body used to it. I'm still having this problem where things look blurry or like out of focus, and I don't know if I just don't know what I'm doing, or if my eyes are messed up, or if the headset's messed up. I'm pretty sure it's one of those two. It's either my eyes or the headset's messed up. Along those lines, I'm going in about a week to get an eye exam. It's been 2 or 3 years anyway, so I'm due, but I'm just trying to go through process of elimination, and if my eyes check out perfect, then I'll know something's going on, because I've adjusted it, I've fiddled with it, I've moved it up and down, front and back, and all this shit. Like, I've watched videos, and people don't seem to be having the same experience that I am. I mean, people are, but the people in my immediate circle are not. So that tells me that something is up. And if it's not my eyes, then I don't know what else it could be. So I'll see what goes on, and then I might have to be sending it back, unfortunately.
Will you ask the doctor if it's your eyes being uneven?
Why are my eyes uneven? What is this? I'm going to tell her to measure my eyes and tell me if they're level.
No, she could just look at you dead on. It's like one of your ears is lower than the other one.
Oh my God.
Your eyes are all googly.
You act like I'm a fucking Goonie character.
Yeah,
or something.
you are. You look just like that fucker.
Jesus. Cheese and rice. Okay. Well, anyway, we are a weekly podcast where Travis and I get together and discuss all things PlayStation, like news, rumors, new game releases, and much more. We do it all in under 90 minutes, and we post new episodes every Monday on all of the usual podcast services around this dying world. And we also post new episodes on YouTube, where we also share gameplay videos and clips, which I do have some PSVR2 gameplay up currently of After the Fall. It's a zombie shooter that's quite fun, actually, when it's not making me have a splitting headache, or my eyeballs aren't anyway. But we're also on social media. Our primary feed is Twitter, where we go by @TheDualSensePod. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, where we share virtual photography. And we also have a blog. It's thedualsensepodcast.wordpress.com. You can get the shows there each week as well, along with show notes, our bios, and photos. So please find us and chat some PlayStation with us. We would love to hear from you. And without further ado, let's jump into the news here, starting with number 1. We got our first State of Play stream of 2023 this week after being in hiatus since September of last year. And here's a recap of everything that we saw. First up was the announcement of 5 games coming to PSVR2 later this year, including sci-fi western roguelike shooter The Foglands, Amazonian rainforest survival game Green Hell, dual-wielding run-and-gun action game Synapse, Journey to Foundation, which is based off Isaac Asimov's acclaimed sci-fi book series, and narrative adventure game Before Your Eyes, which advances time each time that you blink. Following the VR blowout, Bungie shared a new trailer for the upcoming Lightfall expansion for Destiny 2. Puzzle action game Humanity showed up with a gameplay trailer and revealed that it will be launching on PS4, PS5, PSVR, and PSVR2 in May. A limited time demo is available right now on the PlayStation Store until March the 6th. The incredible looking open world adventure game Tachia shared a brand new story trailer and announced that it would be launching March 21st on PS4 and PS5. It will also be included day one on the PlayStation Plus Extra tier. Speaking of PlayStation Plus, they went ahead, meaning PlayStation, went ahead and revealed several of the March lineup of games. The Essential tier games are Battlefield 2042 for PS4 and PS5, Minecraft Dungeons for PS4, which is like Diablo, and Code Vein, which is a action RPG, and it's for PlayStation 4. Coming to the extra and premium tiers are the aforementioned Tachia, as well as Rainbow Six Extraction, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves collection. After that, we got a new trailer for Street Fighter 6, which showed 3 characters in action: Zangief, Cammy, and Lily. Capcom also shared a new gameplay trailer for Resident Evil 4 Remake, as well as revealed that Mercenaries mode will be coming to the game as free post-launch DLC, and a demo will be coming to PS4 and PS5, quote, in the near future, end quote. Indie game Goodbye Volcano High shared a new trailer and was announced to be launching on June 15th. Action RPG Baldur's Gate 3 was announced to be coming to PS5 on August 31st. It will feature split screen co op for 2 players or online co op for up to 4 players. Action fighter Naruto Cross Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections was announced and is coming to PS4 and PS5 later this year. Free-to-play online action RPG Wayfinder announced a second closed playtest for PlayStation 5 starting on February 28th. Signups are now available on the game's website. Developer Airship Syndicate also announced that the game will be releasing in early access on PS4 and PS5 in May for those who purchase a Founders Pack. The State of Play ended with a 15-minute gameplay deep dive into Rocksteady Studios' Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was a massive fart noise. And finally, following the State of Play, the consensus online seemed to be that it was a fairly average presentation, which insider Jeff Grubb tried to warn us about. After the show, Grubb said that a big PlayStation showcase is still coming, saying, quote, "So they have to do them," meaning States of Play. Even if Sony itself is saving its own actual good stuff for something else, which is what's happening here, they're saving the good stuff for the PlayStation showcase that's going to happen before E3. It was supposed to happen last fall, but they kept pushing it back because their developers weren't ready. But now that those developers are ready, they should have a massive show that really sets up the second phase of the PlayStation 5. So there's a lot to be excited about. It's just that this State of Play was never going to be that. End quote. Okay, so what do you think of State of Play? I'm sure that you didn't watch it, but does anything jump out to you?
No, of course I didn't watch it. I have to work like a normal person. The VR stuff is mildly interesting to me. I think the Foglands is cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
The Rainforest game actually sounds interesting, but VR survival game is I feel like it would freak me out.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the title Synapse. So that's all I got going for me there. Don't care about most of the rest of this. Don't care. I thought the March lineups were interesting for the Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I think Battlefield's a nice touch. If you're on that level and it's free, you should really try it. I mean, there's no reason not to at this point. I like that they're adding Immortals in, Extraction. That's pretty cool. I think Ghostwire Tokyo is an awesome addition to Uncharted. Like, I think it's all pretty strong right there, all things considered. But after that, nothing's really that interesting. Suicide Squad looks awful, and as far as Jeff's review, I know he said it wouldn't be that great, and I didn't expect it to be, but they're going to show us something before E3, yada yada yada. I mean, it seems like every couple of weeks since last fall, they've been saying something like that, like it's coming, just like fucking do it. Like I don't even. I'm not even paying attention anymore. Just show up and I'll see it then. Like, I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna worry about it anymore. It's just like, just show it at this point. It's just irritating to me.
Yeah, it was a pretty mediocre state of play, I would say. It's weird that we waited whatever 4 months, 5 months for this to be the state of play that we got. And it wasn't all bad. It's just probably one of the weakest ones that we've had, in my opinion. There were a couple of standouts for me, though. With that said, I think that the Tachia game looks incredible,
Is that
and
what
we're
is that?
getting that.
Do you like water something in VR and it grows hair? That's grass, actually.
And that, we know that's a chia pet, but
Mm.
it's close. But chia looks, I don't know if it's Tachia or chia. It's like the whole Tsushima thing. Let's just say chia. Anyway, it looks dope, and the fact that we're getting it included on PlayStation Plus Extra is awesome. And I'm pretty sure that I called that. I know I did on Twitter and back in January that felt like a PlayStation Plus game. I was only 1 month off on the release date. I figured it was going to be a February PlayStation Plus game, but nevertheless, the other one that was a big standout for me, of course, I got to play the closed beta or the playtest, whatever they call it, is Wayfinder. That game is so dope. God, it's so fucking dope. I'll definitely be getting a Founders Pack in May. But other than that, yeah, the Foglands game I do think looked pretty cool. Actually, that Synapse game looked really dope. It's like a running. It's like John Wick in VR. Basically, it's like run and gun the entire time.
Hmm.
I don't know. You should probably look that trailer up
That's
if
why
you
it's
didn't
called
watch it. But
Synapse.
yeah, it's dope, man. It's if there's going to be a VR game that makes me vomit, it's probably that one. But it looks very good.
Mhm.
And let's see. I know Baldur's Gate 3. A lot of people are excited about that. And then lastly, the March PlayStation Plus games. I love how I feel like they did that just so they couldn't get leaked, because they get leaked like 2 or 3 days before, like every month, by that dude on Twitter. So I feel like they were just like, you know what, we're just gonna go ahead and put them out there and fuck you. And that's actually a pretty good lineup, I think. Very strong. Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves collection. Glad I've held off on that. I had just had a feeling that was going to be added at some point, so I'm looking forward to playing that on PS5. Ghostwire Tokyo is pretty good, and I just got kind of bored with it. Immortals: Phoenix Rising, also not bad. It's kind of like that Zelda game, Breath of the Wild or whatever is what it looks like. And then Rainbow Six Extraction is also underrated in my opinion, as is Battlefield 2042. Anyway, an average state of play. Oh, and then how could I forget Justice League? Yeah, or whatever. What's that called? Suicide Squad. It looks awful, terrible. That I can't even believe that's the game that they've come up with. Like that's the game that they've made. Like it's
Like you told
like
me,
literally no, like nobody is saying anything good about
okay,
it.
you literally text us and said, "Why didn't they cancel that one?"
It's I don't understand. I just don't know what they're doing. But and then lastly, there the thing that Grubb said about the PlayStation Showcase, we fucking need it in the worst way. Hopefully, it's if it's before E3, then it's by the end of May, I would think, or I guess it could be early June, like in the days leading up to it, potentially. But we need that, and it sounds like it's going to be a banger because we haven't heard anything from first party in quite a while. So like a year and a half, I think. So just got to hang on a little bit longer. Number two, the PlayStation VR2 launched this week, as I mentioned, and just prior to launch, Sony revealed 10 more games coming to the next gen headset in the launch window. The newly announced titles include a narrative driven puzzle game, Another Fisherman's Tale, gladiator melee combat game, Gorn, which is a port from the original PlayStation VR, bow and arrow soccer game, Knock, which is Rocket League with bows, and it looks fucking dope. Action combat game, Hellsweeper VR, Viking longship racing heavy metal rhythm game, Ragnarok, arcade motorcycle shooter Runner, bartending game, Star Tenders Intergalactic Bartending. We're not hosting an intergalactic kegger down here.
You are.
Narrative adventure. You literally are. Narrative adventure game, Sushi Bin, realistic sword fighting simulation, Swordsman VR, also looks dope, and Guitar Hero clone Unplugged air guitar. So, what do you think about the launch window lineup of
Mhm.
PSVR2 growing to over 40 games, first of all, and then do any of these games sound like they could tickle your pickle?
They just they just keep adding games to the launch window. It's really interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I want the Gladiator game to be cool, but it's a port, so it's like it just isn't exciting to me because it's a port, but it still could be
Mm.
interesting. Nox
It looks cool, you should look it up.
like Nox should be cool. Like that sounds really fun to me.
Mhm.
I'm really interested in this Viking longship heavy metal rhythm game because I like longships, I like heavy
Yeah.
metal, and I like the play on words called Ragnarok. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
All of that is fun for me. I have seen Swordsman VR footage and it is dope, and I would totally own that if I had the VR. I feel like you would be the most interested in the bartending game.
Yeah. I'm moderately intrigued by that.
Yeah, and of course you are. It just seems like it's up your alley. The air
Mm.
guitar thing is like it's interesting. It's like some of these games look so cool, but it's like, do you want to? The thing I run into with VR is like how much of it is novelty. So like,
Mm.
you don't want to buy a game like the air guitar game, and it's just kind of it's just exciting for 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that, and rhythm games are a very big niche in VR, obviously, because the platform lends itself very well to that, so there's a lot of these games. There's another game called Drum Gods or something like that, that's Guitar Hero with drums. We've talked about it on the show before, but, of this list, several of these look very cool. The Another Fisherman's Tale game, Gorn looks cool, Swordsman looks cool. My personal favorite is Knock. God, that looks so good, as long as it doesn't make you throw up. Looks very cool. And then Swordsman was another standout for me, if I didn't already say that. The reason why Star Tenders intrigues me is because, I like all these weird, like, simulator games, and to me, that's just like a simulator, like you're just making drinks or whatever. So,
It is. It is
yeah,
intergalactic.
yes, it's intergalactic kegger. So, but yeah, the launch window slowly like went from like 20 to 30 to 40 all of a sudden. So it seems like we're settling in at 40 games within the first month of the headset. So that's very, very good. Very good. Number three, following up on last week's news that developer Ballistic Moon was included on a new PlayStation job posting among a list of only first party studios, suggesting that they had been acquired by Sony. Now we have new evidence that they have indeed been acquired by the Japanese giant. Last Stand Media's Colin Moriarty recently discovered a listing on a financial services website called PitchBook that Ballistic Moon's current status is quote unquote acquired slash merged, with the parent company listed as Sony. The studio is rumored to be working on a game codenamed Project Bait, which has popped up multiple times now in leaks over the last several months. Ballistic Moon was founded in 2019 by former Supermassive Games staff, and it is likely that PlayStation is holding back an announcement until the conclusion of the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal. Any thoughts on this?
We talked a little bit about this last week. Like that's the easiest prediction in the world. Like they leaked this thing by accident, which they're really good at doing.
Mm,
Obviously, they've been acquired. It's interesting they found it somewhere. Whatever the hell PitchBook is, somebody found that, so
yeah,
that's interesting. We've talked about
yeah,
Project Bates before, so nothing too surprising there. But I completely agree at the end there. Like they don't want to do anything that might move the needle before this Activision Blizzard deal is finished. And I think that includes a massive, showcase that really shows their cards. I think they want to hold everything back until then.
yeah. I think so. I think that's why we haven't gotten a showcase. I think that's why we haven't gotten some of these more business side announcements like the acquisition of Ballistic Moon, other potential acquisitions, maybe, or, publishing agreements or that sort of thing. I feel like it definitely feels like they're holding back a lot because even the state of play that we talked about a few minutes ago, that was all, partner stuff, all second and third party stuff. No, nothing from PlayStation Studios. So they're being very, very reserved at this point, and I'm ready for all that to be over. The potential game, I should say, that Ballistic Moon is making sounds interesting. Because like we've talked about before, Project Bates implies Norman Bates, Alfred Hitchcock, whatever. They obviously have the bones in being former Supermassive staff. They made games like, The Quarry and Until Dawn, etc. So seems like it's going to be a very narrative heavy game if they stick to their roots. So quite interesting, and we'll have to see. Probably won't have to wait until maybe a few more months, maybe summertime. They might just pop up at the showcase, because if they've been working on this game, let's say 2019, 2020, so about 3 years potentially by the time the showcase rolls around. maybe there'll be a teaser trailer or something for it. Number 4, we also have a bunch of news nuggets as well, Travis. Feel free to jump in here. First nugget, to coincide with the launch of PSVR2, developer Hello Games released the first major update of 2023 for No Man's Sky this week. Dubbed Fractal, the update includes a number of improvements and updates, including full support for Sony's next-gen headset. Other updates include a new expedition, new speeder ship, a 12-ship garage, or garage, Wonders catalog, a Wonders catalog, gyro controls, a robot pet, left-hand mode, dynamic resolution scaling, and an HDR revamp. They, like we talk about, they just keep updating the thing for free. Impressive. Also, Gran Turismo 7 got a big update this week that includes support for PSVR2 as well, the ability to race against GT Sophie AI, the return of classic track Grand Valley, and 5 new cars, the Honda RA272 1965, the whatever this is, Ital Design Exenio Vision Gran Turismo Street, and the off-road version of that, the Citroen, how do you say that?
Citron.
Citroen DS21 Palace 1970, or might be Palais, probably not, it's probably Palace. And then finally, the Porsche 911 Carrera 1973.
Citron, I think, is French. That might be Palais. I'm not sure.
Could be. Does this do anything for you?
No, it's a nice update. The Honda RA is one of my favorite F1 cars of all time. It's $2 million, 2 million credits in the store right now.
Mm.
The Grand Valley track, while it's very historical, what they've added is a little bit. It's like a modern tweak on it, and really shows off their ability at scaling and depth and detail outside of the track. I think they're kind of showing off a little bit, especially with the VR coming out. The biggest thing about all of this, which is kind of under the radar a little bit, is the GT Sophie AI. It's like one of the better AIs for racing ever. Like, it's insane. Like, right now it's set up, there's challenges, there's like beginner, intermediate, and expert, and you could pretty much win those. But there's a final one-on-one challenge, and the Sophie AI turned up all the way is like, you almost can't beat it. You have to almost cheat to beat it. You have to like bump it out of the way and then like defend the whole lap, as opposed to just racing. You're not going to beat it on pace. It's not going to miss a shift. It's not going to miss the line. It's going to be perfect. But the cool thing is like, it'll react to you. Like, it'll force you wide. It'll cut you off. It'll defend. It'll block. It knows when to do all of these things. So it's obviously not tweaked out perfectly, and there's still some issues with it. But for that to be the first version of it that is live is pretty impressive. Like, it might be getting to the point where you can have decent races against the AI and they act like humans. There's a few times like when you're racing against it, it'll do human stuff. It's really interesting, but it's still an AI, so you can make it do weird stuff. Like, if you push it to the grass, it doesn't like that. It doesn't know what to do. So like one time it just stopped.
The idea of the AI panicking.
Yeah, just the AI didn't understand what was happening, so he just stopped the car in the track. It's like it just doesn't know what to do sometimes. But yeah, it's cool otherwise. I mean, it's awesome. I think it's really, really cool.
Next nugget, boxing game Creed Rise to Glory is getting a remaster for PSVR 2 on April the 4th in the form of the Championship Edition. It will feature new story chapters and locations from the upcoming Creed 3 film as well. Owners of the original PSVR version will have to pay a $20 upgrade fee, however. Website Video Games Chronicle reported that developer Avalanche has no plans for any Hogwarts Legacy DLC. However, publisher Warner Brothers is thrilled with the success of the game after it has sold a staggering 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks on the market, with Warner Brothers saying they view it as a long-term franchise. I can't talk. Elsewhere, entertainment site Giant Freaking Robot reported that a hog leg television series is in the works at HBO Max. And when I wrote it like that, I did not realize how much it sounds like a porno.
What is hog leg, man? What is hog leg television series?
It's short for Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh,
you don't want a Hogwarts Legacy television series?
I thought you were talking about a sawed-off shotgun. You bought that hog leg.
Yeah, blow his brains out.
It seems incredibly stupid to not have DLC planned. Maybe they should work on that when you sell 12 million copies.
Yeah, I think they just are ready to make Hog Leg too.
Yeah, I enjoyed that thing you sent us earlier of the picture of that lady getting
Mm.
railed in Hogwarts. I'm pretty sure that was the
Hmm.
girl from The Last of Us, Ellie, getting railed in that picture.
You just can't have anything nice on PC when they have mods.
I know it was outrageous, right? Like, why did we need that?
Yeah, it's hilarious. Also, industry icon Shinji Mikami is leaving his studio Tango Gameworks. Publisher Bethesda announced this week. Mikami is most known as the director of the first Resident Evil and the GameCube remake of Resident Evil 4.
Fucking GameCube.
Diablo 4's beta will take place in March, with an early access period from March 17th to March 19th, and an open beta period from March 24th to March 26th. Assassin's Creed Valhalla received its final bug fix update this week, as Ubisoft is officially ending support for the 2020 release. Returnal is the second worst performing PlayStation PC release so far, which has peaked at just under 7,000 concurrent players on Steam. The only game to do worse was Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which managed just 610 players at its peak, which is awful.
Yeah.
Nobody played that game. The Ukrainian government has called on Sony, Microsoft, and Valve to pull recently released Soviet themed shooter Atomic Heart from sale on its storefronts in Ukraine. Elden Ring has now sold 20 million copies worldwide since its release last February. That's unbelievable. God, so many. Microsoft President Brad Smith claimed during a press conference this week that PlayStation has a 70% share of the global console market compared to Xbox's 30%.
That doesn't make any sense. What does the Switch have? How
Right.
can they only have 100%?
Right. Yeah, that you're right. That's a great point. That doesn't add up.
Or the
It's
GameCube.
it's
People still play that, right?
uh
Got a
I don't know.
Dreamcast.
Probably a few. Probably a few. Everybody that plays GameCube are the same number of people that played Sackboy: Big Adventure on PC. Also, Destiny 2 cheat seller Aim Junkies was ordered to pay developer Bungie $4.3 million in punitive damages this week by a U.S. judge, as Aim Junkies was found to be in violation of the DMCA, which is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, if I remember correctly. Bungie isn't quite done yet, though, as they are also seeking $6.87 million in damages from cheat creator Lavi Cheats. On their podcast this week, Video Games Chronicle revealed that publisher Konami is preparing to have a big presence at E3, which will include the reveals of a new Castlevania game and a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. The MGS3 remake is said to be a quote unquote test bed for future Metal Gear Solid games and collections. I still don't understand. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but I don't understand why they're starting with number 3, other than the fact that it's the first one chronologically. But like, why
Delcine
not
War
just
3.
remake? Why not? Yeah, true. But why not just remake the first game? Like, if you, I don't know.
Maybe it's too hard. Maybe those other two are too hard.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. That's possible. Also, a new Wo Long Fallen Dynasty demo is available now on PS4 and PS5, featuring the game's first 2 chapters. It will be available until March 27th, and save data will transfer over to the full game when it releases. God of War Ragnarok picked up 7 awards at the DICE Awards this week, including Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Art Direction, Character, Original Music Composition, Audio Design, and Story, as well as Adventure Game of the Year.
Who made Ragnarok?
What do you mean?
Who's the publisher?
Oh, that's PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. What is DICE doing over there? Trying to get some money?
That- it's confusing because they call it the DICE Awards, and I don't think DICE actually has anything to do with it. It's like the something associate. I don't know. It's weird. Also, Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav accidentally revealed the existence of Mortal Kombat 12 during an earnings call this week, and he also shared that it is launching later this year in a pretty massive oopsie. So imagine having your game revealed at a fucking earnings call. Also, website Games Industry reported that EA Dice, there's your boys, is building out a new team for a future single-player Battlefield game. This new group will assist Ridgeline Games, who is led by Halo co-creator Marcus Lato in Seattle.
His brother Jared's pretty popular.
Yeah, except until he did that Morbius movie.
Mm.
It's Morbin time. Canadian publisher Behavior Interactive announced the acquisition of UK-based support studio Sock Monkey. The studio will join Behavior's services division, which, as you might have guessed, provides development support to big-name companies like PlayStation, Activision, and Ubisoft. Game publisher Thunderful has acquired German developer Studio Fizbin, the creators of 2021's Say No More. It will be the company's 11th acquisition. Speaking of Thunderful, in an interview this week with Xbox Expansion Pass, Fart Noise, they said that no genre is off limits to explore with their ever popular SteamWorld franchise. Film production company Blumhouse is diving into the realm of video games with their newly formed games division, which naturally will focus on horror titles. The publisher will work with indie developers on projects with budgets under $10 million. After saying last week that they would be there, quote, if there was one, end quote, Ubisoft has confirmed that they will be attending E3 this summer with a quote unquote strong lineup.
Yeah. Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and Bones, Assassin's Creed Mirage,
Call of Duty,
the Division Heartland, fuckers. Embracer Group has struck a new deal with Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema to produce a new batch of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh God, really? Fucking come on.
These companies just cannot let stuff rest. They just can't come up with new shit to make,
Yeah.
original ideas. No, they just got to keep
We don't need
murdering their IP.
we had them. I'm not even sure we needed
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
Also, website Push Square reported that Assassin's Creed Syndicate finally had its screen flickering issues fixed on PS5 in a new patch this week. VR game Pistol Whip is getting a 5-month-long season of free content called Overdrive, starting May 1st. Fans have discovered back-end changes to Cyberpunk 2077, which has led to speculation that the promised major update is imminent. It is said to include better melee mechanics, a reworked police system, and a reworked vehicle combat system, among other changes. Toru Okada, the musician behind PlayStation's iconic logo startup sound, has passed away at the age of 73. And that truly is an iconic sound, that PlayStation 1 startup sound. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Can you make it with your mouth?
No, I wish.
Oh, okay.
But if I did, I'd come everywhere. Also, an update to Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition has delivered promised fixes for frame rate and other bugs this week. A level editor is coming soon to the wildly popular Fall Guys.
That seems obvious.
Yeah, I agree. Resident Evil 4 Remake PlayStation VR2 content will be arriving after launch, according to Capcom. Escape room style game Last Labyrinth is coming to PSVR 2 on March 22nd. Developer Level 5 will host a live stream on March 9th where they will offer updates on RPG Deca Police and anime football game Inazuma 11 Victory Road. PlayStation characters are being put out on stamps, or being put on stamps in Croatia by the country's postal service for some ungodly reason.
That's bizarre.
The recent batch of PS1 classics added to the PS Plus premium tier can be purchased a la carte from the PlayStation Store if you don't feel like joining the premium tier. I think they're all $10. Writer Gary Whitta, known for Star Wars Rogue One, revealed this week that the version of recent RPG Forspoken that he conceptualized is quote unquote nothing like what the game actually ended up being. So that worked out for him.
Yep.
Tycoon game Transport Fever 2 is heading to PS4 and PS5 on March 9th. Sony appears to have broken the Legend of Dragoon on PS4 and PS5 with a variety of technical issues, from soft locks when using Dragoon form, attacks to memory leaks that cause audio bugs and other battle system glitches. So we just can't have anything nice. Anime JRPG The Caligula Effect Overdose is getting a native PS5 release sometime later this year.
Is it Overdose or Overdoes?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's Overdose. I think that's a typo by me. Also, website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that the following games will be leaving PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium in March: WWE 2K22, Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 5, Victor Vran Overkill Edition, a Velocibox Ultimate Bundle, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, Override 2 Super Mech League, Ghost of a Tale, Dungeons 2, and Danger Zone.
This the existence of the Monster Energy game implies there's an unofficial video game too.
It does.
I'd much rather play that.
Yes. There's a pirated game somewhere called the unofficial Monster video game. Also, website Insider Gaming reported that the 2024 iteration of Call of Duty could still come to last-gen systems, meaning PlayStation 4. Jesus Christ. In other COD news, Bloomberg is reporting that this year's release did indeed start as an expansion to Modern Warfare 2, but has since grown to become its own game and will allegedly include all of the content of Modern Warfare 2 and continue that game's story. Okay. Website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: PGA Tour 2K23, DayZ, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, No Man's Sky, F122, Chrono Cross, The Radical Dreamers Edition, Diablo 3, Smite, Conan Exiles, and Hog Leg. So if you've been waiting for some updates or fixes, you might want to check that out.
Is it actually, people call it hog leg?
Yeah, we say it in,
We
lovingly.
say it, okay.
Yeah.
All you
I'm
Hufflepuffs?
I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm part of the community.
God.
Next
I'm the fucking hat that's just disappointed in everybody. You just put me on them.
Next nugget. Trine 5, A Clockwork Conspiracy, is reportedly the next game in the Trine series, according to Twitter user Bill Coon. He's the one who's always leaking the monthly PlayStation Plus games early, so it's true. Also, Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League has been rated in Singapore and sounds like it will be rather violent, including characters getting their hearts ripped out or impaled through the neck, according to the rating.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that it matters because I don't think anyone wants to play the game.
Yeah. Do they mean like physically ripped out, or like a woman leaves you and then you're really sad?
Yeah.
And then you impale your neck.
Also, website Gematsu reported that Bill and Ted's Excellent Retro Collection released this week on PS4 and PS5. 3D action platformer Protodroid Delta launches April 27th for PS4. Horror game Layers of Fear will launch on PS5 sometime in June. Souls-like action RPG Lies of P will launch in August for PS4 and PS5. Cyberpunk psychic narrative adventure game Read Only Memories Neurodiver will launch in the third quarter of this year for PS4 and PS5. Survival horror game Organ Quarter is coming to PSVR2 sometime this spring. No thank you. Roguelike management game Backpack Hero launches in May for PS4 and PS5. NCSoft MMORPG Throne and Liberty will be published by Amazon Games and released on PS5 at some point in the future. It looks pretty cool. Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord will launch for PS4 and PS5 on April 25th in North America and Europe. Action RPG Cry Machina was announced for PS4 and PS5 with some type of reveal scheduled for March 1st.
Some type of reveal? Did you give up writing that?
I did. Atelier Marie remake, The Alchemist of Salberg, will launch for PS4 and PS5 on July 13th. You have no idea like how distracted I get when I'm typing this shit. Free to play. Free to play co-op action RPG Project Skies was announced from new developer Elodie Games. No platforms were announced, but signups for a pre-alpha playtest are open now on the game's website.
It'll be on some kind of platform.
Fuck you. Roguelite strategy RPG The Last Spell is launching for it's the third game in the Last of Us series.
Is that not
launching
Hogwarts?
for PS4. Yeah, it's the sequel to Hogwarts. It's launching on PS4 and PS5 on March 9th. NIS America, that's Nippon Ichi Software, will release a PS5 version of the oh my god. See what I'm talking about?
You spelled you overdoes again, is it?
It must be then. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, best case scenario, you spelled it wrong twice.
all options are on the table. Ooh. Publisher Microids announced a partnership with new French studio Savage Level to publish their first game, which is a tactical RPG coming to consoles and PC next year.
What do you think they call back-end bugs on microids?
I don't know.
Hemorrhoids.
Oh, that's good. Ooh. Asymmetric multiplayer horror game sequel Deceit 2 was announced for PS4 and PS5. It's launching sometime later this year. It's a lot of deceit.
Mm-hmm.
Alien-themed survival horror game Grey Hill Incident will launch for PS4 and PS5 on June 9th. It looks kind of interesting. It's little gray men.
Mm-hmm.
The Greys are coming. Magical Drop 6 was announced to be coming to PS4 following a release on Switch at some point this year. And finally, Gamatsu reported that Swedish team Embark Studios has confirmed that their awesome looking free to play multiplayer shooter, The Finals, will indeed be coming to PS5, presumably at some point this year, with a PC beta taking place in March.
Oh God.
And that's all for the news this week.
Yeah, you just those
You don't
last
like when I
10.
use the word some, huh?
You put a lot of sums in those last 10. Sometime this
I mean,
year, it's some kind of review, release, whatever, man.
Hey, I can only give you as much info as they give us. So I give you just as much effort as they give us. But the finals looks fucking dope, by the way.
Yeah, it looks
Cannot
cool.
wait for that. Yeah, we need that. Hopefully that seems like I thought that was going to be the thing that surprise like dropped during the Game Awards back in December
Mhm.
because they had this relationship to Keeley somehow, like because they revealed the game there. This is 100% a game that drops at the Summer Game Fest shit that he does in June. So just get ready for that. And anyway, that's all for the news. I'm going to turn it over to Travis now for a motherfucker of a list of new games this week, thanks to the PSVR2 launching.
Yes.
Take it
It's a whole
away.
bunch of bullshit. It starts off really hot on February the
Uh huh.
21st. Arha. Akaha
Uh,
Ahahara. Akaharara.
Keep an eye out for our review on GamingNexus.com.
For that?
Yeah,
What
we're
is it?
reviewing it. I don't fucking know,
Oh,
but I
okay.
know
Well,
somebody's reviewing it.
anyway, Soviet propaganda game Atomic Heart on the 5 and 4.
Check
Harvest
out my
Moon.
review of that game on GamingNexus.com.
It's a fucking joke. All right. Harvest Moon
Sorry.
Back to Nature on PS5 and PS4. Catch that on GamingNexus.com. Like a Dragon Ishin on Gaming Nexus PS5 and 4. Seven Doors on the 5 and the 4.
Snow White and the Seven Doors.
So, yeah, it's about 7 different lead singers who killed themselves on drugs. The Legend of the Dragoon, the 5 and the 4. Wild Arms 2, which is about you basically it's a job simulator and you're just the blow up guy in front of a car lot.
Oh, the
Okay.
first one was such a hit they had to make a second one.
All right. The 22nd we have 2MD, whatever that means. VR Football Unleashed All Star on the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have After the Fall on the 5, Altar Breaker on the 5, Among Us VR on the 5, Awesome Asteroids, Cactus Cowboy, Plants at War, Cave Digger 2, Dig Harder on PS5. That's a great name. Cities VR Enhanced Edition, Cosmonious High on the 5, Demio, Drums Rock on PS5, Dyschronia Chronos Alternate on the 5, Fantavision 22X on the 5, Garden of the Sea on the 5, Horizon Call of the Mountain. Do you mean PSVR because you're on PS5?
It's technically a PS5 game.
It's ported.
I think all the PSVR2 games said PS5 for whatever reason.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'll fix that in the going forward. That Push Square messed that up.
Job Simulator on the 5, Jurassic World Aftermath Collection on the 5, Kayak VR Mirage.
Look for my review on GamingNexus.com.
For that?
Yeah, eventually.
Let me know if you can hold yourself underwater and drown.
I did get a trophy called Sleeping with the Fishes when I took the headset off the other day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Kizuna AI Touch the Beat. That's what she said. Moss PS5.
Look for my review on GamingNexus.com.
Really?
Yeah, at some point.
For Moss?
Yeah, for Moss.
What about Moss Book 2? Are you doing that one?
No, someone else is doing that.
Okay, cool. All right, NFL Pro Era. Pavlov VR. Pistol Whip VR. Puzzling Places. Res Infinite. Song in the Smoke Rekindled. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. Star Tenders Swordsman VR. Synth Riders Tentacular. Tentacular. Tentacu
Tentacular.
Tentacular.
I'm
All
pretty
right.
sure.
Jesus. Tetris Effect. The Last Clockwinder.
Look for my review on GamingNexus.com.
All right. The Light Brigade. The Tale of Onogoro. Thumper. Townsman VR. Vacation Simulator. It's for poor people. What the Bat. X8.
Hmm.
Zenith the Last City. Zombieland Headshot Fever Reload.
Look for my review on GamingNexus.com.
Is that what you were talking about earlier?
No, that's after the
Mm.
fall. I'm not
Oh.
reviewing that one though. I'm just playing that for
On the
funsies.
23rd, Blood Bowl 3.
Mhm.
Chef Life.
Look for my review on GamingNexus.com.
Every time I pause, it's not a review game. And when I don't pause, it is. All right. Grim Guardians, Demon Purge, Redemption Reapers. On the 24th, we have Octopath Traveler 2 and Truck Driver Premium Edition.
There you go. That's the biggest week you've ever had of new game releases.
I know.
Wow. You might not be able to talk for a couple days.
Swordsman is exciting. I want to play Swordsman.
Yeah, it does look pretty dope. It looks very dope. So does Pavlov. God, that looks dope. All right, so that's all for the new games this week. It's a busy week of new releases, courtesy, as I said, of the PSVR2, courtesy of the red, white, and blue. And
Put a
anyway,
boot
let's.
in her ass.
Oh man, 9/11 really fucked up Toby Keith for good, didn't it?
It fucked up our country.
Yeah, fair enough. All right,
Mhm.
and let's start to wrap the show up here like we always do by discussing what we've been playing and anything that we're looking forward to. What's on your mind?
We played like one night of Battlefield. It wasn't too bad. I mean, I don't really remember it, but it wasn't too bad. What did we do? We did something. I don't know. I shot some fucking people.
I had a bad night of Battlefield, but continue.
Yeah, I think I had one good game kind of in the middle there. It just, it is what it is. Yeah, and then I played Gran Turismo. They put up one of the cars I'm missing, so I bought it. So I'm now one car away from getting the second to last trophy, and then the other trophy is, I'm over the 50 races, but it hasn't popped yet. I don't know what it's doing. My theory is a rage quit more races than I realized, and I have to actually finish 50 total. So even though I've
Oh,
raced more than 50, I've rage quit too many.
yeah, 100%.
So that's probably what it is. So I got to finish that. The races this week aren't bad. One of the race A is always a race that doesn't affect your driving skill or your safety rating, and they're doing it at it's like the Colorado Rally Course, which there was a trophy you had to get like 10 wins in a truck or something like that, and I cheesed the fuck out of it. I just kept doing that race over and over again. So I love that track, and I love how goofy it is, like with the rally. So it gives you like this car from the 80s, and it's like it's a fucking blast. Like you're just all over the place, and people are bouncing off of stuff, and like there's nothing you can't lose anything. So it's just a great time. I'm not fast at it though. Like I thought I'd be quick, and I'm like fucking 9 seconds off the world record. I'm not even close. Like, and I don't know how those people are lapping that track that fast. I mean, I was giving it like full beans, and I couldn't. I watched the video on people driving fast. I can't figure it out. It's incredible. The race C and B are both really good too. The race on their daily race B, I think I'm within like a second and a half of the top time, but I'm still like 1,000th on the leaderboard. But that race was fun. I won one or two races there this week. That was a good time. I think yeah, a guy did crash me, and then I stopped. Like he like legitimately, I was in like third, and there was a gap that I split to take the lead in between two cars, and he was in the outside lane, and he just decided he was going to take me and the other car out that were passing him. So we all like, of course we're in last now, and then I got a penalty for hitting the wall, which was not my fault. I literally didn't have control, and then he like stopped, like I guess because I don't know, he stopped like he fucked up, and then I kept stopping to make him pass me so I could crash him, and he wouldn't pass me. He just kept stopping in the road. So me and him just kept stopping
Jesus.
and stopping until the race ended. So Dude, it was like it's really been a good week of races, and they added in the new track, and the new cars are fun, and the Sophie thing is pretty cool. So I think Gran Turismo's in a good spot for sure. But that's I think that's all I played this week actually.
Nice. I like you mentioned, we played some Battlefield 2042, and as I mentioned, I did not play well. I was having a rough night, a rough go of it whenever we played. I don't know what was going on. It just I just couldn't get anything going, nothing to work. But I'm very excited about the new season on Tuesday. God, it looks so good. I'm very excited. They've been teasing some season 5 stuff this week as well, teasing a new map for season 5, and they're going to rework Hourglass, which is the one that's in Qatar that we played the other night, where it's just kind of like way too wide open and way too big. So
It's literally 3 maps.
it is literally 3 maps. And so they're going to fix that. So that's exciting. I also played Atomic Heart. I did not get to talk about it last week because I was under embargo, but I reviewed Atomic Heart for GamingNexus.com and gave it an 8 out of 10. You can check out my full review over there. But actually, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good game. It caught me a little bit by surprise in terms of the tone of it. Like, I didn't expect for it to not take itself as seriously as it did. Like, the subject matter, I don't know. A lot of people hated it. I figured that would be the case. This is the one time I knew it was going to be divisive, like the dialogue and the tone of it. But this is the one time where I'm like in the minority on something like that. I actually thought it was pretty funny. Like, well, let me back up. First of all, the combat I think is very good. I loved mashing robots with like a hammer and an axe and stuff. That was a lot of fun. The abilities were cool.
Did you happen to use a
Lo-
sickle or any other implements on
no,
the USSR flag?
no hammer, no sickle. Very good looking game in the indoor environments for sure, which they call dungeons. You can tell that they've spent a lot of time on the quote unquote dungeons, and then the open world was just kind of like a throw in. It felt like to me. The other thing that I think was a drawback, one of the other things, is that the gameplay difficulty was unbalanced. Like halfway through the game, I had to change the difficulty I was playing on, which is never a good sign. But as far as the tone, what I really enjoyed about it was the character kind of had a little bit of like Woody Harrelson from like Zombieland to me. Like there was one point where I walked up to a door and there's all these locked doors and you have to like do a little mini game thing to unlock the door. And my character says, "Oh no, would you look at that? Another fucking locked door. Never saw that one coming." And like it was so like perfect timing, like and on the nose that it made me laugh out loud. Like I thought that was great. So just like little things like that.
The
And then it
Russians
would
don't have any humor. That's why they don't like it. Like I've never seen a Russian laugh.
and then, I was telling you about the one quote where he like was fighting something, some type of, I was fighting some type of like mutant or something like that. And the guy yelled out like, "Fuck me sideways." Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. Other people didn't, but to each his own. And so anyway, I played that. I've also been playing The Last Clockwinder, or as you call it, The Last Cockwinder,
Mhm.
on PSVR2.
Yep.
It's my first review, first up or first due up review for PSVR2. Playing that,
What do you do on it?
it is a puzzle automation game. So you are creating clones of yourself and actions that you're making in order to make an assembly line, essentially, to produce fruit, which unlocks different things and progresses the level. Basically, you're using automation to solve puzzles to get through the levels, is what you're doing. So, pretty neat.
7.5.
7.5. So, also played After the Fall, which is actually the very first game that I played on the headset, period, with Jacob. And it was very cool. Very cool. Like the guns and everything, like reloading them, and that's the footage that I have on our YouTube channel right now, and you can see me like panicking because I can't figure out how to reload, and I'm like dropping clips on the ground, and like zombies are just murdering me. So it was a good time. I did wake up with a splitting headache the next day after I played that one though, but I'm not convinced that that's not because everything is looking blurry to me right now for some reason. Travis is actually going to probably try my headset tomorrow, so I'll be interested to see what his experience is with it. Because if he tells me he's seeing blurry shit, I can't imagine both of our eyes are fucked enough to where shit looks blurry to us. So it could possibly be the headset. We'll see. played a little bit of Kayak VR, which is pretty cool. That's actually a game that made me feel sick the quickest.
I can
Uh,
see that.
yeah, and being on water and like tilting and all that stuff. But it
Is it
was really cool.
so your brain thought
Um,
you
I-
were on water?
yeah, I think my brain thought I was on water, and I was also standing instead of sitting. But you're sitting in a kayak, obviously, so I
Mhm.
feel like there's some like miscommunications there with my brain and my body, probably messing me up too. So I'll have to figure that out. I may have to. The one thing I'll say is inconvenient about PSVR2 is to go from standing to sitting functionality or whatever. You have to reset your play area every time, and I don't fucking like that. So I don't know. That seems very annoying to me. And then the last thing that I played was I tried just the very first couple of minutes of Horizon Call of the Mountain, and that, even though it was blurry, out of focus because something's going on, it was fucking awesome. Oh my god, it was so awesome. So, really looking forward to going back to that. I'm gonna push that out though down the road until I can figure out my issues, and plus I have a bunch of reviews I've got to get to. So I'll play that sometime down the road, hopefully. All if everything pans out. So yeah, that's it. I've been playing quite a bit. I will be playing quite a bit, and yeah, so that's it for me. It's it for you. It's it for the show. And with that, we'll get out of here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to get a new episode delivered to you every Monday on your podcast service. Also, if you could leave us a rating or review on your podcast service, that would be much appreciated. Give us a follow on your podcast feeds, or if subscribing is not an option. Also, if you could share us with a friend or a loved one who you think might enjoy the show, we would very much appreciate that. And we would also love to hear from you on social media. You can find us on Twitter, where we go by at the DualSense Pod. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. You can check out our blog, which is the DualSense Podcast.wordpress.com. And yeah, find us, hit us up, chat some PlayStation with us. Thank you for listening, and we will talk at you next week. Have a good week. Take care. Bye bye.